My beautiful Aquariuses, welcome to your what I'm calling your current love messages. This is for those who you can be in a relationship, but maybe you're not speaking at the moment. This is for also people who just have no contact, wondering what's going on with someone they're interested in, maybe someone you have a crush on. We're really looking at their energy, but relating to you. And I would definitely check out their moon sign and your moon sign. Um, that's where your emotions are really held. So, we're going to ask five very specific questions. We're going to ask what are their current feelings for you right now? What what's their current view of you? What actions are they currently thinking of taking or are planning on taking or going to take, I should say. And then your current feelings for them, because that's important. And then the overall energy that's supporting this connection. When I do readings like this, I really feel like I'm speaking to soulmates or twin flames, certainly could be free will choice or karmic, but I don't know why do you want a karmic back. Karmic is about a lesson. And what did I learn? Sometimes I learn exactly what I don't want. So, this is really, I feel like, more for like soulmate type energy, where there was probably at least love at one time. It can relate to those who haven't met yet because I do read through my spirit guide. So sometimes we do get past lives. So I'm not going to eliminate that. So, anyways, let's go ahead and get into this reading. We're going to use the Gilded Tarot to, well, I'm just going to say go deeper because I really don't feel like I need to clarify these readings, but we'll go deeper. I am going to use Mother Mary, but I'm going to use her at the end. I'm going to use her over the relationship, and see what words of wisdom Mother Mary has. And then for your questions, I chose the Psychic Tarot for you, or it chose me. But I have to say, it's one of the decks I love the most for you. I'm going to go ahead and give it a couple shuffles. Everything's pre-shuffled, just so you know. But I do want to give it a couple shuffles with you here. And we'll give it a cut. And we're going to get into it, guys. Let's get into it. Um, I have the majority of signs done, so you may be an Aquarius or you're checking on an Aquarius, but also look within your own reading because you might get valuable insight there also. All right, so let's go ahead and begin. I'm going to bring the lid down and let's look at their current. Let me take this shawl off. Let's look at their current feelings for you right now. Ooh, Tower. Disruption. Interesting. You could look at this in a negative way, of course, because it is the tower. But honestly, I feel like it's just talking about, something happened, something shook up this relationship. And again, it could also be past lives, especially when we're looking at towers. So very interesting that their current view of you is the tower disruption. Okay, we'll definitely come back and look at that card. So let's see what their current view of you is. Well, much better. We have light, which is the sun. So, interesting because we have light, we have dark, right? We have the darkness of the tower. Though, sometimes the tower is really there to help us just move forward. Sometimes it does break people up. But I feel like if let's say, you're soulmates and you really can come back together, then sometimes that tower is a chance for each of us separately to figure out like what we need to figure out within ourselves. Also, I feel like sometimes it makes someone realize like you don't know what you got until it's gone type of energy. I feel like they feel you're very playful. I do feel like they feel you're serious but playful, if that makes sense. I feel that they feel you're very spiritual. I feel you're very connected. And they must also feel that. Now, I don't know if they would put the word spirituality in there. You know what I mean? It depends, like, someone's, like, the words that they use. Um, but I love that the sun's coming out for their current view of you. So this is a really good view of you. And I feel like the tower is life, right? The tower happens. All right, well, let's keep going. So let's see what current actions they're thinking of taking or are taking. Hmm. We have the Five of Cups. Well, first of all, it's a five, so it's change. So I do feel like means that they're considering some change. Interesting also because the Five of Cups definitely makes me feel like they miss you. Definitely, I feel that. It doesn't mean everything's hunky dory, but I definitely feel that I miss you. And I feel that chances are you miss them. And you know how I opened your reading saying that I really feel like we're going to be talking about soulmates. Well, that's what I feel in the Five of Cups. So let's talk about the Five of Cups for a second because it's really going to be in the middle of this spread. This is where one's focus is at. And this is when I'm focusing on what I have lost. But when I maybe consider that there's a chance, right, that maybe this could come back together. And again, I feel like that tower, that is what is really, again, like that tower seems to be your friend, even though it was disruptive when it happened. And when this person makes this change, so I feel like they're thinking of making this change right now. What do they find? Two cups. Well, we're talking about soulmates. So I feel like they are right now thinking of making a change, of potentially reaching out to you. But let's look at your current view of them. So they do reach out to you. What's going to happen? Oh, three swords. Okay. Well, that makes sense, right? Because that tells me chances are they broke your heart. But I'm going to be honest. I feel like even if they broke your heart, truth be told, they broke their own heart. You know what I mean? Like, because I feel like they're also suffering this loss. They also feel that Three of Swords. And that Three of Swords, I feel like, is what caused the tower, or the tower is what caused the Three of Swords. But I don't love that as like your current view, though I completely understand it. So probably communication is going to have to happen here. But at the same time, I feel like both partners here are missing each other and they're viewing you in the most beautiful way. You're viewing them from your heart. You're both viewing each other from your heart, but you're coming from different places. Um, so maybe someone hasn't like healed that yet. Maybe you were just kind of left hanging. Interesting. All right, let's look at the overall energy that's supporting this connection. And we have the Six of Swords. So, first, I feel like with the Six of Swords now mirroring the Tower, Six of Swords, you have to go back one card and understand what am I moving on from? I'm moving on from the Five of Swords. That's where the toxicity lied. And that can be my thought system, that can be people, that can be bad communication. It can be all of that put together. Things were good and then things went wrong, and then they weren't good. Someone's energy became toxic, but truthfully, I feel like, I have a feeling someone did something and that's what brought the toxicity along. And then I feel like there wasn't great communication. And I get it because I was probably coming from a hurt place. You know what I mean? And the other one was probably coming from a defensive place. So now that time has gone by, maybe we can work this out, talk about it. You know, I like that it's swords, even though it is representing what was. This is talking about what will be or what can be. In the Six of Swords, I feel like, yes, the beginning is a little bit of choppy waters, but just the beginning, it's very temporary. Of course, it is up to these two people if they're going to like really communicate about this, work it out. But I do feel like we can work it out. I feel like we can work it out. And because this is the overall energy, I feel like you're meant to work it out. You know what I mean? Again, like that tower, as painful as it was, it really got, I feel like, both people missing each other, thinking about, what that tower means. We know that tower, oh, it's like something just hit my window. But we know that tower did consist of some toxicity, but this is putting it behind us, though. That's the thing in the Six of Swords. We're putting it behind us. So maybe that's what I'm learning in this connection is that I can put, some difficulties behind me. I can understand and I can come to clarity and we can work it out. Now, if you don't want to work it out because the Three of Swords is here, then just don't. You know what I mean? It's up to you. But I kind of feel like you wouldn't be here. But I could be wrong. All right, well, let's keep going. Bottom of the deck. Well, hello, Hierophant. Card of Taurus. Look what it says. Wisdom. Using one's wisdom. It's about faith, hope, keeping hope alive. It's a five. Change. I feel like we've come from night to day. Like I've been living in the dark, or maybe we had been living in the dark and this is about the light, and I also feel like God has his hand in this. Divine has their hands within this relationship. Your spirit guides, it doesn't, none of that means it has to be, you have free will. But I like seeing these two fives because potentially I feel like both um may be saying, okay, let's give it a shot. Let's talk about it. Let's leave our ego. I have no ego energy on the board. So let's leave our ego out of it and let's just really talk about it. Because I feel like communication is key here. And with the sun here, truly everything will be illuminated. So, I feel if you fear that, like, if I take this person back there, then I'm just, like, I'm allowing darkness into my life again. Well, that could be for some. So that's why you got to use your spiritual discernment. But I also feel like through communication and through time, you'll very clearly see because I feel like this person is coming from the light now. All right, I'm going to bring the Gilded Tarot in. And what I've been doing is taking one card above every card. And we'll pick more if we need them. Let's look at this tower a little bit. One more shuffle. All right, let's give him a cut. Aquarius, Aquarius. All right. Hmm. Ten of Wands over the tower. Well, that makes sense. It could certainly mean that someone felt like the responsibility of this relationship was put upon my shoulders. Like I did all the work. I wanted it to work, but it doesn't seem like it was fair, equal. Feels like one was more of a taker and the other was more of a giver. Now, sometimes that's just immaturity. You know what I mean? Like immaturity. Like, I think of men and women, or girls and boys, they mature at different levels. Anyway, and then, hello, Page of Swords. And I feel like that's exactly what we need is communication. And I feel like it's showing as a page because at one time I do feel like the communication was bad. You know what I mean? Like hurtful. But now, because the Page of Swords is coming over the sun, again, I feel like anything that's spoken, if it's not true, you're going to know it. You're going to feel it. The sun is here to illuminate it for you. It's to make you feel better. But also, that's their view of you at the same time. So I feel like a good conversation. All right, let's look at the Five of Cups. Wow. Hello, Ace of Pentacles. So literally, they want to come back into your life. The Ace of Pentacles is an ace that is physical. And what I mean by that, it's tangible. I can touch it. I can smell it. I can kiss it. I can grow it. It's interesting because it's starting as an ace, right? But I love the Ace of Pentacles because it's truly meant to expand your life, your world. But I often feel it as a seed. And both of us have to nurture this seed. And if we do, it will grow and grow and grow. Now, this is their current action. So, do I love seeing the Ace of Pentacles right above the Five of Cups? So, first of all, I feel like I'm no longer in the focus of, well, I do feel like, they do feel like I lost, or, it could be the other way around too. I want to make sure you understand that. But the person I'm speaking about right now, you know, I feel like I've missed you and I want you back in my life. And I feel like they're being very legitimate when they say that. Like, I really feel that. And the Ace of Pentacles means that they're going to show one way or another. Doesn't mean you have to accept it. Again, I want to make that clear. But it does absolutely look like they're ready to come into your physical world. I've been getting a lot of like where I feel like people are going to reach out like through social media or through text or phone. Here, I feel like I may actually see the person. It doesn't feel like there's a conversation first and then I see him. I feel like I see him and then there's a conversation. Okay, let's look above you and your current view. Justice. Some of you could have been married. And again, I need you to understand, I'm not trying to talk you into doing anything you don't want to do. This is for those I feel like who do, who really do want to be back together. So, but justice can certainly represent that. It's also the card of Leo or Libra. Leo right here. Um, but this really, justice is about making, it's interesting. There's the scales, right? And the scales are about balance. And a relationship needs to be balanced for it to be successful. It doesn't mean that sometimes I'm not like I'm down, and I'm not quite, my vibration is quite as high. Well, my partner can help me with that. You know what I mean? We're not working against each other, we're helping each other. So this is about finding that real balance within a relationship. I feel like some of you cut ties with them. And I do feel like it hurt. But I feel like you may have done it anyways. Maybe you felt like you had to. And I kind of feel like if that's the case, I do kind of feel like you had to. Because, this is a lot over here. But justice's job is to make you whole again. So I feel like this is really about making this love whole again. All right. And then let's look at the overall connection. We have interesting the Seven of Swords. Now, do I think that's what's keeping you together? No. That would definitely tie back to the tower, right? So this, this is some people call it the thief in the night. Um, it can talk about like infidelity, certainly. But I feel more it's about like untruths, like lies, like these lies. And I mean, Aquarius, I know you can't live in a life where people are lying to you. It's just too much. It's too much, right? Be legit or don't be at all. But I feel like that's, of course, what was. And I feel like that's where your spiritual team is coming in saying, if we're not able to put this energy in the past, yes, talk about it, understand it, come to balance, and then put it in the past. If we can't, it's just going to keep raising its ugly head. So you need to make sure um, if you want this, that you're also able to maybe forgive, maybe forgive. I mean, that's what divine would ask you to do. But you have to find that within your own heart. I don't feel like this person has an easy, what's the word I want to use, plight in front of them. Um, though I do feel in your heart of hearts, like I do feel like you would want this. You do want this, but you want it in a higher vibration than when it was. And I feel like that's exactly what's happening, right? Because the past needs to be the past and allow the present to be the present. That Ace of Pentacles, truly, I feel like is a gift. And it really signifies that these couples can truly be successful. Doesn't mean there won't be any bumps in the roads. But because you've been through so much, I feel like if there's bumps in the roads, and I don't mean like, okay, well, I'm not sure if you're telling me the truth again, because I feel like if it's that, then why would you, then, okay, then I feel like it should just be a no or not right now. I'm not ready. And maybe you're not ready. And that's okay. Let them persuade you, let them date you, let them show you who they are now versus who they were. And vice versa, by the way. We can't always lie or lay all the issues on the other side of the table, right? But, all right, let's look at Mother Mary. Oh, another card, did it? The Moon, card of Pisces, ruler of Cancer. Um, some of you, we're going to have a total eclipse coming up soon in April. Some of you, this may be where you start to see this potentially coming back together. And I say potential, I don't guarantee, because everybody's got their own free will. When the moon though comes out, I do feel it's very dreamy. So this makeup, if we choose to make up, I feel like could be very, what's the word I want to use? Sensual, exciting. Once we get to that point, it's almost like once we get our hands on each other again, then we don't want to take our hands off each other. But I do feel like first we got to get there. Okay. Anyways, let's go ahead and take Mother Mary over this connection and see what words of wisdom, whispering words of wisdom, let it be. Let it be, let it be. Oh, God. Sometimes I hear myself singing, and I'm like, oh, but I love that song. And maybe I'm singing it because maybe that's part of it, like just letting it be. All right. Mother Mary. Whoa, quiet, quiet. I go into peaceful silence and I listen. That's you trusting your guides. That's your guides sending you messages. And maybe I can't feel or hear these messages, during, I don't know, I feel like just through my daily life, but maybe when I take that moment or lay my head down on the pillow, I feel like your guides are trying to reach you. That's what I feel. Probably both. I go into peaceful silence and I listen. So maybe this person shows up and I want to be with you. Um, but I'm afraid. I'm afraid. I don't want to get my heart broken again. That reminds me of that saying, what's that? What is that saying? Now I forgot. It's better to have loved than never to have loved at all. And I agree with that. All right. Well, let's take them in the order they came out. Look at this. Optimism. Optimism. So I feel like your guides are saying, the more that you get, and optimism to me is really living in the present moment, not in the past, not in the future. I'm definitely putting those intentions out there. But here I feel like, okay, maybe this does have a good choice, a good chance. Maybe it just can work. Maybe we could take this Ace of Pentacles and turn it into the Ten of Pentacles in time through the journey, right? But don't skip the journey. The journey, like how I felt like where two people are making up and I felt very sensual and like once our hands are on each other, we don't want to let go of each other. So optimism. I expect good things to happen, and they do. I expect good things to happen, and they do. And then we have Father. Some of you, I often feel when we're doing a love reading, a father comes out. I often feel like, list for some of you, I feel like this could be your guide, though. Your dad might be your guide or your grandfather. And I feel that pretty clearly. So I know for some of you, you have your father or your god or your maybe it's a godfather. Um, helps guide you in your life. So it definitely feels like, whoever it is someone that you have known in this lifetime. Because some of our guides we haven't met in this lifetime, but we know them. Our soul knows them. So, anyways, when I see Father, I often feel like, um, does somebody remind me of my father? Does somebody have the issues that maybe my father had? Or if it's the other way around, like if my father was very loving, like say to my mother, that's what I would want. That's what I would want. But let's read what it says. My true father is God in heaven who shines healing light upon me, my birth father, and our relationship. So, I'm going to leave that to you. I'm not 100% sure what it means for some of you. I do definitely feel some of you, it's your father, a godfather or a grandfather who's guiding you, someone who you would call a father figure. And I do feel like you would know him in this lifetime. Um, though I do want you to know your team, because remember, when we come down into this lifetime, we already have a spiritual team in place for us, and those are our angels, our archangels, and our spirit guides. Our spirit guides are always sending us messages. They're trying to guide us. Our angels need our permission to come in. Our spirit guides have been born of this world through woman, where angels have not. So what an awesome group, right? And then your archangels. You know, Archangel Michael, if you feel like you need protection, call out to Archangel Michael. You know, I feel like use your spiritual team because they want you to use them. So definitely, you know, I feel like here, because there was a three sword, because there is the three swords, the tower, one time toxicity, and even energy that maybe I couldn't trust, and this is coming back together. I can see where it'd be a little, like I'm a little worried. Though I feel like in my heart of hearts, I want this. And again, optimism. Optimism. I expect good things to happen, and they do. Trust your guides. You know, and don't second guess what you like that initial feeling. Like, ask your guides a question and then don't second guess it. However, if you're unsure about like your guidance, ask them to send you another sign and make it bigger. Like, should I go back with this person? Give me the biggest sign you possibly can. Some of you, this could be your sign. Just want to say. All right. I'm going to leave that there, guys. This is the type of reading I started this in January, and I just kind of found in love with it. I actually, my daughter does it on her channel, Jenny Love Tarot, and I was watching hers, and I was like, oh, I love that. So I asked her, I called her, and I'm like, do you mind if I steal your spread? And she's like, absolutely not. So I thank her for that. But I truly love this type of spread. And you do have to read between the lines. Understand that. Read between the lines. And if this is something you want, you do have to be willing to, you know, put the past in the past. Or let me put it another way, that's what gives you your best shot at really taking this ace, enjoying the journey, and then ending up in the 10. And I don't feel like it's just the 10 of Pentacles. I feel like it's also the 10 of Cups. But why would the Ace of Pentacles comes out? Because I feel like this is about two people who really need to be grounded. Um, and for some of you, it could represent that they have strong Earth in their chart also. But other than that, all right. So I'm going to let that be, guys. I love you. I thank you. I am so grateful for you each and every day. I had a great time on lives yesterday. I was going to go live today, but I just don't have the energy today. So tomorrow, I think tomorrow or Tuesday, I'm going to go live again. So hopefully I'll see you there. If not, I'll see you next time at our table. Definitely leave me your comments though, and let me know how this relates to you, if you don't mind. Because I feel like through your comments, first of all, you help give me clarity, but also I feel like we can help others through our comments. And if this is something you're not interested in, you know, you can write that for sure. But I kind of feel like this is that you would be here because you are interested. But other than that, we're going to let that be. All right, guys, I love you. I'll see you next time at our table. Bye bye.